Bringing fresh-tasting spring water to our Midwest friends and neighbors. Ice Mountain 100% natural spring water.
It's so convenient. Just grab a bottle and you're good. What's better than a refreshing bottle of water? Well, I have something even better. A glass of water. It seems pretty innocent, right? It's just a bottle of water. What's so bad about that? Well, I can name a few things. One, the bottle itself can emit chemicals into the water if it sits for too long or is exposed to too much heat. And no one knows what the effects of this exposure are yet. I wouldn't take any chances. Number 2 is that they ship them all over the world, creating a lot of pollution. And number 3 is the bottle itself. There are 3 different fates for your spring water bottle. One is that some kind soul actually puts it in the recycling. From there, it is transported to a factory that, just saying, is probably creating a lot of pollution, and is pressed into a block with other plastic items like your straws, cups, and even toys. After the block is created, it is shredded, cleaned, and then melted. And then you have plastic ready to be made into something new. Unfortunately, most plastics meet a more unfortunate fate. The second fate is much more common and unfortunate than the first. This bottle ends up in the garbage and is sent to a landfill. After the bottles are compressed and have sit for a while, chemicals from these bottles and other plastics mix with rainwater, and then the poisonous water can leak into underground waterways that lead to lakes, poisoning and killing wildlife. However, there's one more adventure that most plastics take that lead them to the ocean. When you throw your bottle on the ground, it can be caught by a stream that leads to a river, which can eventually lead to lakes or the ocean. Once these plastics get here, they can be mistaken for food by creatures that live in the water. Plastics make animals feel full when they actually aren't, so sadly they starve to death. I feel like this is an issue that is often tossed to the side because of other issues we have to deal with. However, I don't think most people realize how much damage plastics are having on our world. We have 8.3 billion tons of plastic waste in our world, and it is expected by 2050 that number will double. So now let me ask you, does it still seem so convenient? And bottles are just an example. There are so many plastics we throw every day. Even when you get food from a fast food restaurant, you are bombarded with packaging. It is inside a foam box with plastic forks, inside a plastic wrap, inside a plastic bag. And every time you go to an A&W, the pile gets higher and higher. And if we continue the way we are going, it won't stop. The world isn't a land of unlimited resources and space. Someday we will run out of room for landfills, and we will run out of oil. This is why it's so important that we reduce the amount of plastic we use. You can start by not buying prepackaged foods, which almost always have unnecessary packaging. See if you can reuse single-use bags and boxes. And maybe you're thinking, it's single-use, you're supposed to only use it once. Well, plastics are made to survive for years, so why not use them to their full potential? If we can learn to reuse the already taken materials, we will never run out. This is why we strive to do an eco. We bike or take the bus to reduce our carbon footprint. We always reuse when possible, and probably the easiest one, we recycle. Eco has brought me to so many amazingly beautiful places, like Blue Mountain, Batoche, the Swell, Pike Lake, and many more places. We have had the opportunity to talk to so many experts on our communities, protecting nature, history, and much more. These places are so beautiful that it's hard not to want to protect them. And we have met so many people doing their best to battle our world's issues as well. So we need to follow in their footsteps. Because to start a movement, it takes a leader, but most importantly, it takes followers. And that's why it's so important that we reduce, reuse, and recycle. And sometimes, reusing can result in some pretty neat things. Recycling is what will lead our world to a brighter future.